Hello, welcome back to Property Spy. Property Spy is a channel where we review properties. We look at properties either going to auction in the coming days or properties we've seen for sale on normal property websites, and we review them from an investor standpoint. We look at different things we can glean from the information that's in the marketing material. Now, today we have a property that will be going to auction in the coming days from Leeds, West Yorkshire. Now this one piqued my interest because it's got multiple flats, multiple bedrooms, and I thought, well, this might be a huge deal. And look, the guide price is £425,000. It says plus fees over here. It's got 12 bedrooms and it has an income of £46,000. So straight away, you know, it's greater than a 10% yield, which is always a good thing. But we need to dig into the property to see whether it's actually a good thing or not, because different strategies would demand different yields. These are gross yields, so you'd understand it better as we go through this. So this property, if we start with the front, it's a detached building, Fairfax Road, West Yorkshire. I said Leeds earlier. It doesn't actually specify if it's Leeds, but I think it is Leeds. LS11 would assume it's Leeds. But Fairfax, let's look through some of the other pictures. Okay, look down here. Those look like townhouses. I wonder if the townhouses are flats. I'll keep going. That's still the front of the building. It is detached, so I assume the bit on this right hand side is part of it, even though it's a bit segregated from the rest. Keep going. Okay, the grass needs some cutting, so nobody does that. Typically in buildings that have multiple flats, the owners of the flats in the building would have to work together to clean up all of the communal space. So the communal spaces would include the stairs, the walls within the stair areas, the hallways, and the garden space. But looking at this picture here, the kitchen is pretty much with the living room and with the bedroom. So this is a studio at best. I wonder which one of the rooms this is. Okay, we'll keep going. Let's keep going. Shower, tiny. Toilets, tiny. Okay. Good thing it's rented out, so people would stay in this sort of place. I wonder what the clientele would be for this type of building. Are they employed people? Are they people on benefits? Are they in between places? If it's a halfway house, it's unclear. I doubt this door would open fully with this cooker right opposite it. So it seems the current landlord has maximized the space. So as we go through these pictures, you are looking for opportunities. And what else could we add? We add more space. This shower doesn't have a door, it has a curtain. Okay. So the bed here is right next to the wall. Right. Okay. It's fairly small, I have to say. This kitchen looks better. This is a better layout. You've got the fire blanket on the wall there, so this makes me wonder if this is a HMO. Okay, so this shower doesn't have any doors. And the reason that might be is because with the doors, the shower might be too tiny. But the flip side is when you shower in this sort of place, the whole floor will be wet. You can't have someone else in the toilet whilst you're using the shower. You'll be getting wet. And then when you're done, who mops the floor? I take it the tenant would have to mop the floor. On a good day, mop the floor. So this might be the best for the sort of prices they're able to achieve in this area. That's always a trade-off. I suppose if people don't have enough money to go for something better, they would go for what they can afford. That's this one. Okay, the shower has a door. The toilet is separate from the shower, which is good, so you can sit down properly when you're on the throne. Got the sink. Okay. connected. Interesting. So it might be a slightly bigger flat. All right, so let's look at the floor plan. Right, floor plan here. Okay, so if you look carefully at the floor plan, on the ground floor you've got flats 1 to 5. Flat 1 has just one window, doesn't seem to have any shower, nor does it have any kitchen. So what kitchen would they use? Probably have to go across the hallway into this kitchen here. So they'll share it with flat 4 possibly. And the shower they would use would be this shower here, just next to flat 5. So flat 3 would come all the way there, and then there's the front door. So after they showered, they would run into their flat, and they would hope nobody sees them. Okay, so ground floor, first floor. So flat 6 has its own shower, has a separate bedroom, so that's a proper full-blown flat. Flat 7 just has a shower, no kitchen, so they would probably share this kitchen here, or the kitchen over there. So this layout is something you'd have to investigate as the investor. This building is definitely one you want to view before the auction. Definitely do not want to do the purchase without knowing what you're getting. Now, the other thing to look out for would be, are there any other opportunities? Could you extend to the side and add a few more units? Is that going to be viable? Is it worth it? Now, I've looked at all of the EPCs for that building, and as this floor plan rightly says, flat 12 doesn't have, was not inspected, but incidentally it has an EPC. Now the ones that don't have EPCs, or I couldn't find EPCs for within the legal area, are flats 13, 14 and 15. We've got flat 16 here. I can't see 13, 14, 15 anywhere, so I'd assume it's these 4 here. So again, you'd have to go out there and see for yourself if flats 13, 14 and 15 actually exist, and what they look like and what their sizes are. But based on the information we have, when you've answered those questions, adding up all of the spaces from all of the EPCs gives me a total of 296 square meters, and that's without flats 13, 14 and 15. Okay, so if we assume that all of the building is 296 square meters without 13, 14, 15, I've made the assumption that the ground floor, which has 1, 2, 3 and 4, adds up to 102 square meters. And you can see that when you click on all of the EPCs. There's 15 square meters. They're fairly small, and the sizes range from as small as 15 square meters for flat 1, and the largest is flat 11 at 33. But if we just take one floor, so we took the ground floor and did that times 3. So this ground floor is 102 square meters. If you added, it looks quite tiny, so let's say the communal space is about 15%. Add that in and you have 117 square meters. So with 117 square meters for the ground floor, if you did that across the basement and first floor, you'd have, let's see, now 117 times 3, so that's 351 square meters. Now don't forget you've got this second floor here, which you've got flats 10, 11 and 12. We've got the 10 is 18 square meters, 11 is 33, 12 is 24. So if we did 18 plus 33 plus 24, that's 75. This is fairly generous. If we add that to 351, then we have 4 right. Okay, so if we assume 400 square meters, because that's fairly generous. Now going to valapp. See what else we could achieve here. Okay, let's log in. Okay, let's start stacking. Appraisal. What's this postcode again? LS11. So you do have the option of completing the valapp form manually. 425 HMO auction 1 Fairfax Road. Property size, description. Okay, so we go to another step. Okay, so you've got the EPCs that we've seen earlier. Okay, so these are all the flats. Just pick one. Let's go next. One of them is 2 there. 2, 3, 6. Okay, quite a few are green, which is interesting. Alright, so it reckons service accommodation might work in there for 8 units. Do it as a flip. Buy to let. I'd imagine that needs rearranging. As a HMO, you could reconfigure it to get 24 units. Interesting. Okay, so maximizing all the units. So how would that work? There's six units per floor. Okay, conversion takes one. So I don't think converting to 1 unit would make sense in that for that particular property. But this is all calculated based on price per square foot. So again, as the investor, you'd have to work out what works best. Let's see, this one flip. I wonder how that's going to be flipped. So I'd imagine this needs to be converted into probably 9 units. Okay. I suspect that these measurements are not quite accurate. So on the basement level, you don't have windows to one side. There are rooms. This flat has that window. That. So in the communal space, maybe there's not 15 square meters. Could you get 9 flats in here? So it'd be 9 flats, 3, 3, 3. That might be possible. Just 9 units here. Okay, so which one gives us the most conversion? Let's see what So that 126. So price. Sold price for 425. Right, let's put a square foot here. Let's see. Okay, so 426 square feet will give you 132 grand. When you multiply this by 10 to get the square meters, so this would be times 10. I see where the figures come from. And that goes up a bit. Right, okay. So on this one, I would say that one isn't going to be enough. I would opt for the line. I don't think converted to 1 unit is not. That wouldn't work. So that's one of the challenges with doing price per square foot and everything. Of course, you do need some common sense in the end, but I suspect that the better deal to go for would be the Alright, so I don't think anyone would want to purchase this sort of building for 1.7 million in LS11 if you converted it into one building. So these are all options you're being provided with, but as the investor, one of the ways to determine if any of these units or any of these options are worth looking at would be to speak to local agents, ask them, well, if I converted this to 1 unit, 425 square meters, would I be able to sell it to them? They'll probably say no. And then you look at the other options. So the things that are displayed here are the most lucrative of the multiple options that were considered. So if you do a save appraisals and you get appraisals again, so it saves every single permutation that you've looked at. So when you do that, and then go to appraisals, you should be able to see every single one of the different options that it's looked at, and you'll be able to work out which one, why it selected the one it wanted, it showed the other options. So without keeping you too long, I think this could potentially work, but there's a lot that would have to be validated. For instance, if you have an option 5 units, maximum offer is 487. So it's saying 2 2-beds and 2 1-beds. That's a more reasonable combination. So these are things that valapp will help you do, and if you're going to auction, as you know, the properties in the market is going to the room at 425. So there is some stuff you can do here. And if your preference is HMO, clearly you can look at the HMO options. If not, you may want to look at the flips. Let's see HMO. Here it's color coded for what works, what doesn't work. Okay, so it's a double room en suite, double room en suite. So complete reconfiguration of that space. So the other thing you'd have to look at is whether the full building is actually 426 square meters and everything like that, and the amount of work you'd have to do to get that to be adequate for the market. So on that note, thank you very much for listening. If you have any questions, do send them. Bear in mind that everything we're doing here is for entertainment. It is not advice. And if you want help valuing or evaluating any properties, send us a note, send us a comment. And if you have any questions or have any ideas as to what you want us to cover in future videos, do send them across. So until next time, happy investing.